We have a number of challenges, of course, but the major challenges, if I have to put it that way, includes the overcapacity, exploitation of the resources, illegal, unreported and unregulated fisheries, environmental degradation, and post-harvest fisheries, fish losses. These are the major challenges that people in fisheries are facing. There are multiple causes of the issues. First of all, as I have said, once the price tag on fish is very high, it entices people to engage more in exploiting the resource. So you have a scenario where instead of having, say, a limited number of fishing vessels doing fishing on a certain water body, you come out with a triple number of people engaged in that particular field, because it's money triggered. Once there is money in a certain sector, you expect that a lot of people will jump on board to exploit that resource. And if your capacity to manage that resource is not that much high, equivalent to the pressure, then you have an imbalance, that the pressure is high, the management capability is low, then you have this chaotic situation. And if you are not smart, the resource will dwindle, and at the end of it, you will declare moratorium, whereby nobody will fish. That's the situation we are fighting. Technically, we have two major issues. First of all, we are saying that the fisheries as it is, small-scale fisheries, almost all over the world, is under open access scenario. With the open access scenario, we are saying that people are allowed to join that particular fishery. And given the multiplicity of factors, variables in that particular fishery, it's very difficult to say with certainty how many people is a rational number of them to fish. And the failure to get the specific, the adequate data and information, it's very difficult to say this is a limited amount of people who are supposed to fish this or so fishing. And if you can't have a benchmark, then in most cases you will end up with overcapacity. That is, you have more people than, or you have more capacity than the necessary amount of the resources that you can allow. That's one. But secondly, we have something we call tragedy of the common. With the tragedy of the common is, if you have a resource and people are exploiting that resource, if the benefit accrued from that resource goes to individuals, but these individuals do not pay resource rent, I mean the tax for doing that, they will be enticed to fish harder, because that will increase their profitability, while knowing that the cost of doing that is very, very minimal, or is being shared among the community members. And to him, the cost will be very low. So the margin, the profit margin will become extremely high, and that stimulates him or her to fish harder. And then you overexploit the resource. Is participatory resource management. It means it's only when we manage to bring on board the stakeholders, I'm talking about small-scale fishes themselves, to engage effectively in the management of the resource through a co-management system. And how to do it based on the basic frames of reference from those who have been successful. It means that the starting point has to be to profile the stakeholders, to know who is who in the fishery, because in fisheries you have different groups of interested people. So you have to profile all these different groups, and out of this profiling exercise, then you come with what we say proportional representation to ensure that each group is well represented in the co-management framework. So that is the major or the fundamental aspect if we have to introduce successful co-management. And without co-management, I don't think if we can manage to address all the challenges I mentioned. This voluntary guideline is actually a very, very useful tool because the essence of having this guideline is to sensitize the community at large to make the small-scale fisheries, the contribution of this sector visible, recognized by the wide spectrum of people. And maybe to draw your attention, I actually participated when this thing was initiated. That was back in 2008. We had a global conference in Bangkok, Thailand, and where I presented the scenario of small-scale fisheries in Africa. And thereafter we went to Rome, to discuss on how to go about it. And later on we went to Addis Ababa to discuss based on the scenario we have in East Africa and Central region. So I'm well versed with this guideline. This is actually what was missing all this time around, because many of the instruments that we had was to do with industrial fisheries, because global fisheries is dominated by industry, though small-scale fisheries contribute a lot. So this particular voluntary guideline is actually putting the small-scale fisheries into a broad picture. And once there is awareness of the role played by small-scale fisheries among a large community of people, then the support from the community, from the government, from partners will be improved. And once you have a support, then you can implement all the plan necessary to make the small-scale fisheries more productive and more efficient in terms of management, in terms of sustaining the social economic welfare of the people, and almost everything else.